Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Shai. In today's video, I'm going to do a chit chat get ready with me video. So you guys are going to see me go from like very basic to this nice little get ready with me natural look for work. So yeah. Okay, so I started 2017 off really like saying I know what I want to do. I know what I want to do with YouTube and everything. And then I got a big dose of life my fall semester. So I was during the summer, you know, I'll start from the summer because I feel like my brain goes everywhere. So during the summer, I was really like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I was really going through a lot of issues within my family. So I really don't want to talk about that because it doesn't bring me in a good light. But I had a lot of, you know, problems that were starting to arise. So when I officially left from home, I came to my new apartment. And I was like, yeah, this is definitely what I'm going to do. However, as you grow up, you start to realize that you did some stupid things. And I feel like one of my regrets was actually getting this apartment. I feel like don't get me wrong, my roommates are great. The establishment is great. The amenities at this apartment is awesome. Even management is great. I had a few issues that arise, but you know, they handled it very professionally, unlike the other apartment complex that I was in. I actually have roommates that like me or you know, and so the issue with this apartment was that I knew it was high, but I didn't expect for, you know, everything to be as high as I underestimated the price basically. So because I underestimated the price, I am one of those college students that pays for everything. So I have to pay for my tuition, I have to pay for my rent, I have to pay, you know, for everything. So, you know, things were not handed to me. I mean, not saying, you know, if your parents do pay for your tuition or anything, I'm not saying, you know, that, you know, you're privileged or anything. I'm just simply saying, you know, I had to pay for everything. Anyway, so during this fall semester, I had no choice but to get a second job. So I work a lot. So I work Monday through Sunday, and I sometimes have a day off, but even on my day off I was working because I was in school. I was taking 17 hours because I wanted to have at least 13 to 14 hours for my final end of semester. So I am a senior and I'm supposed to graduate in May, and that's what I've really been working on. But this fall semester was probably one of my hardest semesters I've ever had because I was dealing with so much on my plate. So I was really trying my best to handle everything, and so I just feel that, you know, as you grow up, you obviously live and you learn, but I feel like I made a huge mistake. Instead of like sticking it out and dealing with the roommate that I didn't really get along with, I felt that I should have, you know, just sucked it up and stayed there for another year, so that that's more money in my pocket and that's less stress that I'd have to deal with. But I mean, working two jobs, I mean, I don't know how to I don't know how to say how I feel about it. I mean, because it taught me there's some pros as well as some cons. As you guys know, I barely had time to get on YouTube and like talk to you guys and do videos, which is what I really wanted to do. But it also, in like a pro kind of way, like you have to look at it on both sides. My pro is I got to get a job with a group of females that I actually get along with. If you are a female and you work with other females, there are women who look at you as competition. So they're not trying to, help you out, or they're not trying to see how you're doing. They're just, oh man, they're looking at you like, okay, you're competition. This is how I'm going to, compete with you. So I'm going to do everything I can to make you look bad. No, with these women that I work with, it is like a huge family, basically. I can go to work and I can talk to them about my problems, and we can actually like discuss ways that they can help me, or that, they can work with me. So that was a pro. Like, there were many times that I came to work early, which is something that I never do. I would come to work early and I would work on my work. And speaking of work, so during the fall semester, like I said, I am a senior. I am supposed to graduate. I realized, that there were going to be obstacles anyway, that were going to, get in the way. And so I had to obviously, deal with that. This semester, like I keep telling you guys, was not a good semester, and I keep hopscotching everywhere because there was a lot of things that were going on. So I already told you guys about the job situation. So now I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about like what's been going on school wise, because that's kind of what's important. So I passed the semester, but I did have about 2 professors who were just on that I don't care level, meaning that they were just kind of like, well, you knew what you were doing, we don't have sympathy for you, which is what I was not looking for. I would rather, have my professors be informed of what's going on rather than have no idea what's going on. So what I mean by that is, I'd rather know what's in the soup before you taste the soup and, understand what's going on, rather than you just eating the soup, spitting it out, and saying, what the fuck is that? Excuse my mouth, but that's the only analogy I can go to. So I would go to my professors and I would let them know, like, hey, I really am trying in your class. I am busting my behind. I'm a first generation college student, and I am working, there it is, and I'm working 2 jobs to try to like make ends meet, And so I had one professor who straight up said, well, you're gonna have to just find time, which is understandable. I am gonna have to find time. You are definitely right. I am going to have to find time. However, if I'm working, I work football games, meaning that I am in charge of the scoreboard, on top of working at a retail store. So when I am working at a sporting event and you see my face every day and I ask you, can I use this to go toward my credit for this class? And you sit up there and you tell me, oh, I'm sorry, we don't have any makeups. How is a person supposed to come back and get credit for this class that you're saying that I can't get credit for? But then when I go to your office and you're in front of the other professor, you flip it around and say that you didn't say that. So there's a lot of professors that I had a huge issue with, so I am going to have to repeat a course, which I'm pretty bummed about, because when you are busting your behind to, obviously, get everything you can to make sure that, everything is working out. When you are really, really, I mean, genuinely busting your behind to the point where you're up at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and you're trying to figure out, like, what am I going to eat on this day? And you're trying to, get your finances together, and you're trying to be a responsible adult, and you just have some people that just really don't care. It's very frustrating. Especially when you have the professors that are just like, well, I didn't have to deal with it, so I don't know, how it feels. Of course you don't know how it feels. If you just open up your mind and stop being biased about everything. But that's my little rant. That's what I've been going through, which is quite frustrating. But what are you gonna do? So I have to go home on Christmas and basically, like, let my mom know. I hopefully am still going to be graduating in May. It's just that I have to, instead of taking the 13 hours that I was planning on taking, I'm probably going to have to take 15 and continue working the second job. Because I'd have to have money in order to afford it. So I barely had time to talk to anyone. The only people that I really talk to is my next door neighbor and the people at my job. I barely have time to call anyone. I barely have time to go to any parties. I mean, what is party? So I really don't have time to do anything except work, which is what I'm on my way to now, where I'm on my way to now, excuse me. So it's a little frustrating. That was the only really frustrating part. But other than that, that's the reason why I've been, like, really, really MIA. I've been trying my best to keep very social on social media. And then not only that, but when you are a young adult, you kind of don't know what you want to do unless you know for a fact what you want to do. But I guess I'm in the range of not really knowing what I want to do with my life. And it's a little nerve-wracking because I'm at a stage where I think I know what I want to do, but I'm not for sure. And the only reason I'm not for sure is because I've grown up with people telling me you need to make money and you need to, I mean, if you're not making money, then you're going to struggle. And if you're struggling, it's just not going to be a happy life. And I do understand that, but I also want to work and be happy, Like, I want to be able to wake up and say, I get to go to work today. I get to do what I love today. I get to inspire people in some type of way, or I get to help people in some kind of way. And everything that I'm thinking about doing, I feel like I've come to a roadblock with, because I feel like I've wasted so much time trying to wonder what I'm doing. Okay, so, I mean, that's all that's really been happening. We're on a little rant, but that's okay. Now, I don't really want to go into a family discussion, like what's been going on with my family, just because I feel that that's, like, really, really, really personal, and it's something that I feel I'm going to tear up about, and so because of that, I don't want to talk about it, but prayers would be nice. That's all I'm going to say. Now, relationship wise, I I'm still not in a relationship. Because I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way, but I feel like every single time I talk to somebody, it usually ends up with them saying, oh, you cool, but I don't really want to date you. And so that's what happened. So I was talking to this guy, and he, I guess, was talking to another female as well, which is okay because, you know, we're not dating. But long story short, he told me that he did not want to be in a relationship. He wanted to develop his relationship with Christ, which I thought was very, very good. In order for you to, you know, be in a relationship with someone else, you have to be in a relationship with yourself as well as God, in my opinion. So that way you can be in a relationship knowing that if the relationship failed, it like wouldn't hurt you or anything. I don't know if that makes sense, but in my head it made a lot of sense. Anyway, so he told me that he did not want to be in a relationship, which I was like, okay, well, you know, we can still be friends. But then like 2 months later, not even 2 months later, I think it was like a month and a half later, he started dating one of the girls that I knew. And on top of that, I had her on social media. So I kind of was having it like thrown in my face that, you know, she got the guy and I didn't. Which, I'm not spiteful, so, you know, congratulations to her. But I was hurt because I was like, so you mean to tell me that you don't want to be in a relationship because you're trying to work on your relationship with yourself and Christ. However, you get in a relationship, like, it didn't make sense to me at all, and it still doesn't make sense to me. But, you know, since then I've had a lot of stuff to deal with, so I obviously let it go because there's only certain things that I can deal with, and, you know, crying over a dude that I only talk to isn't one. So I let it go. But I thought that, you know, we could obviously still be friends because my friends were his friends and some of his friends were my friends. But then it got to the point where he started distancing himself from his own friends. And so I had to hear it from the friends that we were both friends with. And so I had to deal with the fact that I don't really care, but I wanted to try to find a way to tell my friends that I don't really care, that I have enough on my plate to deal with, and I don't want to deal with that. So like trying to tell my friends that was kind of starting to become an issue too, to where I just had to like let them know, hey, I don't care what he does with his life. So it is what it is. It's the way I see it. But I mean, that's the only, like, relationship wise, that's the only thing that's really been going on. Other than that, my relationship right now is I'm in a relationship with myself, with Christ, and with my job. Like, when I tell you I've been busting my behind, that's all I've been doing was busting my behind. So that's about it. That's all I've really been doing. During the summer, I got to spend time with my cousin. Well, not my cousin, my niece. I don't know where I got my cousin from, but I got to spend time with my niece. And I don't know if you guys, like the new mothers out there who's possibly watching, I'm not a mom, but I really worry about my niece. And the only reason I worry about her, not because of her mom or anything, but because this world is so wicked, and since I'm a mass comm major, I have been having no choice but to watch the news and, you know, report the news and give my opinion about what's going on in the news, that I've just started realizing, like, not even quite realizing, I think as you grow older, you kind of start to ask yourself, like, why is all of this going on? Anyway, so I started worrying a little bit about my niece because she's so little and she's so young and she's so innocent, and this world is so wicked that, like, I think this man, like, if you guys haven't heard, or if you guys don't know, I'm from Dallas. And so when I came back to Dallas from school, or even during the summer, I started to worry about her a little more, because there was this 3-year-old, and her father, like, I guess tried to discipline her, so he, like, took her out of the house, and at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and she passed away. And so what I'm saying by that, why I'm mentioning that, is because people would hurt an innocent child, and for what, you know? And so the reason I worry about her is because in a blink of an eye, you know, something could happen. And so I worry about her because I want nothing but the best for my niece, especially because growing up I did not have a lot. I grew up in a single parent household. All I know is hustle. So I want my niece to know what it means to work, but I also want my niece to understand that, you know, her family has her back, if that makes sense. And so that's a little bit of something that I've been worrying about. That, and, you know, I don't want to be selfish and, you know, leave. I want to be able to live my life, but I don't want to be able to live my life in a selfish way, knowing that, you know, somebody might need my help, like my sister or my niece or my mom, and, you know, have that in my brain and just say, well, whatever, I have to live my life. Like, that's another thing that I've been really worrying about. And I don't know, that's kind of something that's been really on my brain and really on my heart lately. And I think it's just because, like, I'm getting ready to graduate, and it's really starting to, like, weigh on me, and I'm having, like, all of these anxiety attacks. Well, I've been having anxiety attacks, but it's starting to occur more, that I'm just like what the heck is going on? Like, it's so different when people are like, oh, I know what I want to do in my life, I understand what I want to do in my life, and then when you're actually just like, I have no idea what I want to do with my life, I have no idea, like, what's going to happen to me, I've been looking for jobs, and you start to develop an anxiety attack because you're just like, I have no idea. Like, this is for real, this is happening, you know? And then, I don't know if you guys deal with this, but for me, like, I always have something in the back of my head saying, oh, you know, you're gonna fail, you know, you're gonna fail, especially being in the family that I am in. You always have a crab in the barrel mentality, which is something that I've been trying my best to kind of, like, steer away. I know I told you guys I wasn't going to talk about my family, but I'm going to give you a little bit of input on insight on my family. A lot of people in my family are very negative. So instead of them, like, encouraging you, like, hey, you know, when you start this YouTube, I just want you to know that, you know, everything is going to be great, you're going to do good, blah, blah, blah. Instead, I have family that's kind of like, oh, you know, you're going to fail. Or if you go to California, you know, you're gonna you're gonna fail even if you go to California, if you decide to go get your master's, since you're not getting your master's in education or business or anything in that area, then you're gonna fail. Or hey, just want to let you know, like it's always negative. And so I think that's another reason why I've been having a lot of anxiety attacks, is because I want to be around family, because I'm a family bound person, but I just don't want to deal with anything that's negative or brings down my spirits. It's just I don't know, it doesn't put me in a good light. And then I mean, right now I'm at school. I'm still at school because I'm still working, but it's just like no one wants to deal with that. No one wants to hear negative stuff all the time. No one wants to hear, oh, I want you to know that you're gonna fail. It starts to weigh down on you, and to the point where you don't even want to be around them. And then that hurts, because then you start feeling like you're selfish. So during the time that I wasn't on YouTube, I was really trying to, and then I'm trying to brand myself, but because I'm shy and I'm quiet, I feel like that's starting to count as like a negative kind of aspect, because now I'm starting to second guess myself, and now I'm starting to say, well, maybe they're right, maybe I can't make it. And then you're battling with yourself, because you're like, no, you can't say that, because then if you start to say it, then you start to believe it. And so now you're having like a battle in your head, which is what I've been really dealing with. So basically I took some time off, not only from YouTube but also from Instagram for a while, and then I started coming back really after the semester was over, because it was just a lot to handle. It was a lot to deal with. And I'm a mama's girl, so I talk to my mom a lot about it. So she's kind of the only person that really knows anything about it, and she's the only one I know that wouldn't judge me, whereas like everyone else, and a lot of people don't really talk about this, especially in the Black community. But if you are dealing with some type of like mental breakdown, like an anxiety attack for instance, they'll tell you to get up, get over it, have your 5-minute, 6-minute cry, and get up and stop crying about it. But this is something that's been like, especially anxiety for me has really been getting me down since before college, so high school. And so me like telling my grandpa about it, he was just like, oh, you just need to pray and you need to get over it, like. And so going into college, what took me so long was the fact that I had no idea what I wanted to do with my life, and I still kind of have no idea what I want to do. I know I want to work with video. I know I want to help people. I know that I love, mentoring people and making sure that everyone is good, and I know I love fashion. But I know also that I don't want to work with sports, because I've been doing it now. I know that I don't want to be a reporter. That's just something I just don't see myself doing. And I know that I don't want to deal with like sad breaking news, like seeing a child pass away in front of your eyes, or hearing Trump every 5 minutes. It's just, it starts to weigh a person down, having to, deal with it. And so I was just telling my mom that I have no idea what I want to do with my life. And so she was just telling me, take some time to get to know you, and everything is going to come to you. But because I am a person who is like kind of, not kind of, but yeah, someone who is like, I have to know what's going on, I have to know like what's happening. Because I'm that type of person, it started to hurt me a little bit. Sorry. I don't know why I threw that, but it started to hurt me a little bit because of the fact that, you know, you get online and you see all of these like younger people. I just turned 24, by the way. You have all of these like younger people who are doing better than you, and so you just kind of start to compare yourself, which is not a good thing, but it just kind of sort of happens. And so then as you start to create videos, or you start, you know, doing what you have a passion for, you also have people who, not only do you have family comparing you, but you also have, you know, people who you've never met start to compare you. So it's kind of like, oh, you know, you're 24 years old, yet, you know, you're just now doing this. Instead of people just saying, you know, congratulations, you know, I know you're just now doing this, but you're going to do great. Da, 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 da. You have a lot to deal with, and it's bad enough when you have, you know, people comparing you outside of your household, but even in your household, when you have to deal with it, it really starts to weigh on you. And I don't think people really understand that, because when you try to like let them know, like, hey, you know, what you're doing is really not good, then it's people stating, oh, you know, you're being childish, or you're being a crybaby, or you're not being tough. And then being an African American woman, you have to work 10 times harder. And when you try to like let people know you have to work 10 times harder, it's kind of like you're having a pity party, and then you're not considering the other people that have to work hard. It's just like you never win. So with me, I feel like not only do I feel like I've been working like 10 times harder, I also feel like people are just like, we don't care, get over yourself. Which is what I'm gonna which is what I'm gonna have to deal with in the real world, and I do understand that. But like, I don't know what I'm trying to say. I have no idea what I'm trying to say, but that's what I feel. That's what I've been having to deal with. I've also been having to deal with, you know, dealing with, you know, friends that I no longer really talk to. I have to deal with the wishy-washy friends, the friends that are there for 1 minute. Yeah, the friends that are there for 1 minute, and then like the next minute they're gone. Or the friends that's there when you don't really need help, but they need help, and then the moment that you're like, hey, can you help me out, it's kind of like, no. Like, I don't know. So basically what I'm trying to tell you guys is that my anxiety really got the best of me, and it's never going to not get the best of me, you know. So that's that. Let me see what else. I mean, that's really it. It's my anxiety, you know, really kicking in. That's about really it. So I'm going to finish my eyes, and then I'll be right back. I mean, that's kind of what's been going on. And then you start to learn, like, it took me some time, but like I said before, you live and you learn. As you grow up, you start to learn that your business is your business, and not everybody is going to care, if that makes sense. So what I mean by that is you can say that someone's your friend and they like to see you do good, but not better than them. And I've learned that. You can tell people your business, but some people truly don't care, or they truly just like to see you miserable, and they like to see you struggle, basically. And so when you're doing your best to progress, you just have some friends they're just like, oh, I hope you make it, but in reality they kind of hope you fail. So that is what I've been dealing with. So okay guys, so I'm back and I'm done. I think that's everything. I just wanted to like let you guys know what all is going on. I wanted to just basically tell you guys that I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for being MIA, and that you guys basically, you know, deserve a reason as to why I've been MIA. And I just want you guys to know that for those of you who have been there for me and have supported me, like, really thank you from the bottom of my heart. Really, truly thank you. Anyway, I'm saying all of this to just say I will see you guys in the next video coming up really soon, and I will see you guys in the next video. God bless you guys. Bye.